Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats. Again, if you've been watching some of the other things, you'll know what we're up to. We're doing 20 different programs this year because it's 2020, and each program has 20 different parts, different days, whatever they are, patterns. So we're going to do, this time we're doing some appliques. We're doing 20 things that go. So this is what we'll be doing. These different vehicles and ways to get around. Some of them are a little bit slower than others, I have to say. So I thought I'd get started. If you've signed up on GourmetQuilter.com for the pattern, you'll have patterns to download each day with all the applique shapes ready to trace and a picture of how it's going to look at the other end. And so I just thought I'd get started here. So I cut out, there's also information about cutting out different background sizes and things like that, so that if you are doing different programs of the 2020 on the applique, they will all be interchangeable because all the backgrounds will be similar. So I've gone ahead here with my number one. We're going to be coming along from here in rows with our blocks. So I've got this one already started. I'm using a white cotton batting, just a light batting, as my stabilizer because I'm doing free motion stitching. And I've got my background all cut here. So I've already started putting my pieces on. It's kind of fun. I've put my wheels at the same distance up, so I measured so that they were about ½ an inch up, and you can do that easily. These lovely clear rulers really enable us to line things up nicely with an edge and things. So I've gone ahead and got my wheels on, and I've just started putting some of these other bits on here. I haven't finished yet. And so I've got some fiddly little bits here because this little scooter has a little light out the front. So sometimes it's easier to assemble those little bits together first and then put them on rather than just trying to do one tiny little piece at a time. Sometimes it's easier not to do it that way. There's a little mudguard going on here. And so things like this, when you just want to kind of keep an eye that they're sitting fairly level on top there so that everything looks pretty much like it should. Well, we hope. I'd quite like a little scooter like this. This would be kind of fun to scoot around on. We need a nice comfortable seat. So we'll put that on there. And a little handlebar because we need something to hold on to steer it. And that just sits up here. So I think that's kind of fun. I've got to iron that now. And then everything stays where it is. I'm using steamer seam as my fusible, so it's just a little bit sticky, which means it just sits where I put it, which is really a nice feature. And I'm just going to iron it. My batting is not fusible. I'm just going to iron it to it anyway because it sits really nicely because it's all cotton. And I'm using batiks for the applique because I'm doing free motion, and it just allows things not to fray quite as much when you do free motion. So I've got my machine all set up for free motion. I've got just a dark grey thread on which I'll do all the applique in. And I've got a free motion foot. I've dropped my feed teeth. So I'm ready to go. So I'll just start doing some of the applique. So you want to do some of the bits that are sort of hiding. You've got to keep a little bit of an eye on where things are. But overall you can often skip on to the next piece. So I think I'm going to start with this wheel here. Probably with the centre of the wheel first. And then I can skip onto that mudguard because I've got to come along there, but I'm going to actually just use that as a little thing to get along. And I'm going to come onto the dark tyre. Let's pull that thread out of the way. And so just by taking your time, you don't have to rush this sort of applique. We can get lots of skipping on to next pieces done without having to stop and start. Stopping and starting is something I don't seem to like doing. So I see no reason to do it. So I'm going to come along here and go all the way around the mudguard. I probably am going to have to stop and start somewhere. But not yet, because I'm going back where I was and now I can skip onto this part of the bike here. So I'm just going to continue on, just going around all the stitching, skipping onto the different shapes as I need to, so I can get onto this mudguard, and I'll come back and show you when it's all done. So I did just think I might just show you this little light because it's quite small. But same thing, you just take your time and then just double back on yourself sometimes when you need to, so that you can get back to where you want to be. And I can get back onto the bike and then do the handle bar just the same way. So you can just go slowly, you don't have to rush it. You do need to stitch all the raw edges, so you shouldn't leave them unstitched. And so now I think it's fairly straightforward now, so I'll just come back and show you, as I said, at the end. So I've finished sewing. I'm just going to give it a quick press, because I always like to press everything. And there we've got our little scooter, just wonderful to go scooting around on. I think that would be fun. So that's the number one of our things that go. Only 19 more to go. Pretty good. So I'll see you again with number 2, and don't forget, the more information's on GourmetQuilter.com.